Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and the Giants. I am Enzo, this is my forever co-host John, and today we talk about Daredevil, Born Again. Finally, Daredevil is back. 10 years after it premiered, it is born again in this new iteration.
Yeah.
Uh,
Were you excited for Born Again?
uh, Cautiously optimistic since some of the way Disney used some of the side characters like Wilson Fisk and Hawkeye. Like, really, you make Wilson Fisk a cartoon when he's so feared around New York City, and now you make him this bumbling idiot. I'm like, come on, Disney, you should know better than that. Daredevil too. Like, I feel like he was mellowed out in She-Hulk, where I'm like, you seem a bit more lighthearted. Matt, what happened to you?
Yeah. You seem happy.
Exactly.
Yeah. I do love the direction that they took with Born Again. This is the type of storytelling I kind of expected from Daredevil.
Yeah.
As they're going back into it.
Yeah.
I will say though, like, I'm getting really fucking tired of Matt not wanting to be in his suit.
Well,
yeah.
the first few episodes you can understand, since you're like, all right, the gang's.
He wasn't in his suit for like 70% of the show.
Yeah. Well, he got traumatized because first you're like, all right, the gang's back. Foggy, Matt, Karen. Foggy gets taken out by Bullseye. You're like, excuse me, what?
Yeah. And like Matt is just like, oh, you killed my friend, and he just like drops
Bullseye.
Bullseye. And I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I was like,
the dude legit killed somebody.
yeah, I was like, damn, two characters, and Bullseye already has his cool suit. If we're not spraying,
Yeah.
then you hear Bullseye's heartbeat. You're like, oh, he's for the second season. Even though for some reason, people are, the showrunners like, Foggy will be back in season 2. You're like, is he the Winter Foggy now? What's happening? What do you mean?
He has a robot eye or some shit.
But yeah, it is heartbreaking to see the show kill off Foggy so early, and that causes Matt to not take up the mantle of being a vigilante anymore. And to the show's credit, it feels like a continuation of the Netflix series. Matt is in another firm that's not, obviously not Nelson and Murdoch anymore, and Fisk is the mayor now, and you're like, oh shit.
We're running for mayor.
Yeah.
Like the entire time I was like, ain't no way they're gonna.
Yeah.
they're not gonna get like a convicted felon to run for politician or mayor. Well, we've never heard such a thing here in the Philippines.
Well, to be fair. So I said, well, to be fair, no one has decapitated someone that I'm like, that we know of.
Now we know of.
But yeah, Mayor Fisk.
One person might, but he's taking a vacation in Europe. A very long vacation.
Anyway, Mayor Fisk surrounds himself with like yes man, especially Daniel, who is portrayed by Michael Gandolfini, who's the son of James Gandolfini from The Sopranos. And you're like, the way he speaks, you're like, you really are your dad, because I've seen some Sopranos and I'm like, god damn, you're a reflection.
You got that gabagool in you. I'm like,
Yeah. And Matt Murdock tries to fight the system, this very corrupt system. Like, he first tries to help Hector Ayala, the White Tiger, because he is convicted of killing cops, even though he did do it in self-defense. He could not see the train that was coming on. You're like, in his defense, he didn't know.
Also, the guy just like tripped into like the tracks, so he didn't get pushed. But of course, being corrupt cops and the cops that they are, they'll spin shit, they'll plant evidence or something like that.
Yeah.
By the way, I love the soundtrack for this entire series.
Yeah.
Because I love it that they used TV on the radio, staring at the sun at this first episode where Matt is just like looking up, and Wilson Fisk is looking down. If you don't know who TV on the radio is, they have that one song in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Stay out of my territory episode. There we go.
Yeah. But yeah. I should mention that Camar de los Reyes portrays Hector Ayala pretty well, and it's unfortunate this is like his only time in the MCU because unfortunately he passed away way before the show premiered from cancer. So it's a
Oh, fuck. Oh, I thought he's dead.
yeah, the actor passed away.
God damn. Okay.
Yeah, but portrays White Tiger really well, and like you expect New York MCU, New York being MCU, New York, you're like he's not gonna win, and he does win, and you're like, I thought this is supposed to be Daredevil Born Again. I thought this is supposed to have like a bitter tone, and he gets shot by a Punisher fan. You're like, there's the fucking bittersweet tone.
Well, at first you're like, oh my god, Punisher. Like, oh, is Matt gonna fight Frankie? I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like he comes out with like, of course, the skull on his vest.
Yeah.
And yeah. But like, Frankie kind of, sorry, Matt looks into it and was just like, all right, he feels the bullet, he feels the pattern. He was like, is this yours? And he's like, nah, just one of my fanboys.
Yeah.
And I do love how, like, probably one of the best acting scenes in this show is when Frank is with Matt.
Yeah. These two have been arguing the same argument for 9 years at this point. And like you just see how well like John Bernthal as the Punisher is like the definition of perfect casting. Like no, I can't see anyone else as this character. Like him just being like, I don't have time for your candy ass hero bullshit. Like just stay out of my way. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me not to do something. When you're just like, oh, let the system take over. You're like, what fucking system? You and your goddamn system do nothing. Well, I do something. And Matt's like, look, it's a fair system. Everyone gets like prosecuted fairly. And he's like, oh, like Bullseye, he gets life, even though he took Foggy's life away. And you see how well
he gets to breathe the same air you breathe.
Yeah.
I love this entire scene. It's just like he's like getting on Matt's nerves, and then Matt just backhands him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm sorry. I was like, oh my god, I love this. And like they're really breaking down both of their characters, where like you find out, well, yes, of course, Matt is not okay, but you never saw the extent of it.
Yeah.
Until now.
Yeah, I do love the scene when Frank's like, did Foggy get life? And Matt's like, he's the most decent human being. We can work our whole lives trying to be as decent as him, but we'll never measure up. You're like, oh damn.
Yeah, I love that scene where he's just like, he got life.
Yeah.
About Foggy. Did he get life?
Yeah.
I was like,
and even Frank was like, alright man, I get your point. You go on your merry way. And like, I do love the episode where it's just a day in the life of Matt Murdock when he's at the bank with the Irish robber. And Miss Marvel's dad.
So weird.
I'm like,
yeah.
That's the only tie into the MCU, and I love that subtle tie, and that's the only mention of an extended universe where you're like, oh, that's Kamal's dad. Shit.
Yeah. I don't know why the entire time I never felt scared for Matt's life here.
Yeah.
But I was scared for, like, I do love it that, like, they did give us, like, oh, here's Kamala's dad, so you feel a little tension. He might get shot.
Right? And, like, Kamal doesn't need that character development right now.
Not yet.
Not yet. But I love the fact that Matt, like, once the SWAT comes in, he feels that, like, you always felt that, like, when he's not out in the suit, like, Daredevil is coming back sooner or later. And, like, the Day in the Life episode is, like, him, like, being like, I have to do something. I cannot not do something. And, like, he tracks that one robber down, like, splits his leg in 2 places. Like, can you imagine being a passerby being like, what's going on? Oh, fuck. I'm going the other way.
That blind man is attacking something.
That blind man snapped that dude's leg in half. I'm going the opposite direction. Not fucking with that guy. I also love the fact that you see how Wilson Fisk is struggling to be a mayor. Like, all this mayoral duties, all these, like, red tapes he has to not cross because he's like, I can't be Kingpin anymore. I have to do this government bullshit, even though my rat hand is still, like, dealing with mobsters. Daniel's just kissing ass and Vanessa is taking over. It's implied that Vanessa also had an affair, and you're like, oh, for
It wasn't
Fist.
implied. It was confirmed.
Oh, confirmed. And you're like, oh, for Fist. That's why they have counseling with Matt's girlfriend. And you're like,
Girlfriend.
isn't that convenient? I wonder how that
Yeah.
went.
That is a shame though. Like Matt's girl. Like I didn't really feel
Yeah.
like anything between them.
Yeah, she's not Rosario Dawson's character, or like maybe there's something here. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
I
missing
feel like they
Rosario.
just need to show a little bit more scenes with her.
Yeah.
And Matt.
I do love the conflict when she's like writing a book of like why vigilantes are the way they are, and Matt just like, should I tell her? Should I tell her who I
And the
am?
whole time, every time like she brings up was like, she was like, "Oh, Daredevil was there and he saved my life, but I'm traumatized." And I was like, "I know how you feel." And he was like, "No, you don't. You weren't there." A lot of times, Matt's like,
Right? Like, I'm surprised Hatter hasn't opened up the wrong closet in her home, because Matt hides shit pretty well. So she's not like, can you explain the multiple Daredevil cowls in her house, man?
I do want to see him wear the orange one, not just in She-Hulk.
Right? There's
Oh,
also
sorry, the yellow one, not orange. Sorry.
I don't know if you've seen like the snapshots of season 2, because he wears the black and red Daredevil outfit for season 2,
Ooh.
but we'll have to wait till next year to see that.
Yeah.
Did you think they handled the serial killer story well, or do you think it wrapped up too fast? Fast.
I think it wrapped up too fast because he's dead now. Right?
Or well, not that well. He's knocked the fuck out, and somewhere.
Like, he got shot.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of someone else. But yeah, he got shot. So I'm
Yeah.
like, what's the point of that?
I do love the scene where when they do introduce him. Yeah, he was introduced like later on, like earlier on to the show, where
Yeah.
he's the guy who's graffitiing Wilson Fisk on the wall, and you find out that he's like this kid who is a fan of Matt Murdock's girlfriend,
Yeah.
and he like gets help, and since she is a therapist, and then yeah, he starts like killing people.
Yeah.
I would like to see more of these episodes, and I love that scene where he just like Matt finally dons the suit,
Yeah.
and actually you just see them just rumble in this tunnel. I was like, I love this. This is what I want from Daredevil. Is just more of that.
Yeah. I love
I
the
just want to see Matt kick ass.
I love the fact that the night Daredevil comes back is the night Kingpin comes back, because he does beat the shit out of Vanessa's boyfriend, and for some reason doesn't kill him. I'm like, how do you not kill him after that beating? That makes no sense.
Like his backhand sent the dude flying. I was like,
Yeah.
how are you not dead?
I love it when he like pushes him against the wall, like throws him against the wall. He's just like, mine! And you're like, yeah, you're the Kingpin, I remember. This guy who's like, if I can have Vanessa, nobody can have Vanessa. I'm like, yeah, that's totally like your trigger point, Vanessa. He even hands
Yeah.
Adam an axe, just to be fair. And you're like, that's not a fair shot, dude. You need a minigun for Kingpin to make sure he's dead.
The guy is 90% muscle, even though he does look fat.
Yeah. And like, Fist orchestrates a vigilante task force with like New York's worst cops, and like
Yeah.
they do whatever they want. Like the scene in the ballroom when they just capture one guy and the commissioner's like, "What are you doing? You shouldn't do that." And he's like, "Do this," burns the guy's hand in boiling oil. You're like, "Yeah, exactly that."
I feel bad for the commissioner because the entire time he's just watching his precinct fall apart.
Yeah.
Having these like Punisher fanatics just take control.
Yeah. Also, we also get the niece of BB Urich, or like Ben Urich, who is BB Urich, and like we get like this odd like 90s styles interview on the streets of New York, and I'm kind of like, it's kind of throwing me off. I don't know why, but like,
I agree. I'm just like, okay. I was like, oh, it's the people of New York. We stay together. You know, I'm like,
yeah.
oh.
I was like, are they ever gonna address that Kingpin literally strangled the life of her uncle, and the commissioner's like, you know, he is the lead suspect in your uncle's murder, and I'm like, finally, 9 episodes in, we get confirmation.
Yeah. We do get a ballroom scene where Matt gets shot,
Yeah.
saving Wilson Fisk. Because yeah, of course he knew that like that wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to save Vanessa.
He found out that Vanessa ordered the hit on Foggy, and Bullseye escapes prison to kill Kingpin for revenge, because I guess the deal was he wasn't supposed to go to prison or something like that. So he tries to kill Wilson Fisk, but Matt takes a bullet for him, and you're kind of like, why would you do that, Matt? You idiot.
But I do know that, like, oh, that's not what Matt is. Yeah, like, Matt wouldn't allow that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and then we get tossed into episode 9.
Martial law?
Which is the last episode.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it doesn't feel like it.
Right?
So, but, yeah, Matt has, like, a bullet wound. He's not 100%, like, you know, tip-top shape. But he does get a visit from Frank.
Yeah, and they still squabble like a married couple. Like, I it's like Bucky and Sam and Frank and Matt are like my most favorite couples in the MCU right now.
Yeah, like I was like, man, just fucking kiss already. Like the amount of like shit talking that they do to each other.
Yeah, I love the scene in like the rooftop where Matt just comes through the glass ceiling, and then you see Punisher with a shotgun through the glass. I'm like, Jesus Christ. One is fucking an acrobat. The other is just like a blunt instrument, like just smashing someone's face in, literally.
It's just like this poor bastard who's beside a window. You just see like Punisher right behind him and just like pointing a gun downwards. I'm like, sorry.
I love. Like Matt gets in the way of Frank. He's like, no, he's not worth it. And Frank's like, how about him? Is he worth it? Shoots the one guy, and he's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, but I do love how like they work together. They kind of work against and with each other. Where like Frank would like knock a guy out that Frank would almost kill.
Yeah.
But Frank would kill somebody who would almost get Matt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn! I love the choreography. It's just a little too dark. It seems a little too dark. Bump up the brightness a bit.
It literally is like if they ever did like a Nightwing and a Red Hood movie. Like I expect their dynamic to be like this.
Yeah.
I also forgot that because Frank sees Karen and his heart goes up. I'm like, right, in the Netflix series, he had a thing for Karen, and like they try to work together. Like Matt and Frank choose two separate paths. Frank just tries to go through Wilson Fisk's army with like one gun and a knife. I'm like, Frank's not an idiot. It's either he's an idiot now or you're setting up for season 2. You're setting up for season 2 because Frank gets overwhelmed and he sees his fans and he's like, what do you know about my pain? What do you know about my past? You know nothing. You're fucking clowns. And they're like, alright, sorry you feel that way.
Yeah, but I do love it that they get confronted with like, hey, we're fans of you! Snaps neck. I'm like, oh my god. Yes! I'm just like, do it!
Right?
Yeah, because I was already sick and tired of like this task force thing. I already loved it when Matt Murdock was like, oh, he was gonna get like probably mugged by the two officers.
Yeah.
But of course they didn't know he's Daredevil. So they get manhandled. I'm like, yeah. Served. But now of course they're in suspicion with like, I think he's Daredevil.
Right? One gets a compound fracture, the other one 8th floor. You're like, yeah, that's what you get, jackass. Karen talks Daredevil out of doing the same thing Frank did. She's like, you can't do this on your own. You need an army. And I feel like Matt will try to reach out to the Hand, the Ninja Clan, for help on New York or the rest of the Defenders. I hope like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage come back, because
you know who I want to see and I feel like should be appropriate? Fucking Spider-Man.
Right?
Like, come on, where are you?
Right? Like the entire state of New York is on lockdown and you don't see any webs. Like, really? Or like someone posted like the vigilantes of New York, like Kate Bishop, Moon Knight, Spider-Man, and you're like, it's funny how none of them are reacting to this shit, but I guess we're saving that for season 2.
Yeah, because like You know that the show would be much shorter if they just showed up.
Right? Fucking Hawkeye's in New York. You're like, really? No arrows? Nothing? We forgot to mention that we also, episode 9, we get probably the most bloody and violent death in the MCU when Kingpin kills the commissioner. Like, he punctures his head.
God. Yeah, like he's just like doing this, and then it just caves in. I'm like,
Right?
that's worse than the car.
Right? Even the officers were like, whoa, holy shit.
Our mayor can do that.
Right? I feel like that was not just like a message to be like, do your job. That's a message of like, if you fuck with me, this will happen to you. And then Kingpin's just like, any questions? They're like, no, we're good. We're good, man.
Yeah. I don't want to turn into a watermelon.
No, thank you. And it's good setup because Matt Murdock rallies the good cops of New York, and for some reason, Frank Castle has like a dumbass guard who's guarding the Punisher. But he's like, can I shake your hand?
He's still a fan. I was like, oh, what's your name? That's a good name.
Breaks hand. You're like, your comrades didn't tell you that he killed everybody at one point? No? Okay.
It's just so funny because like, it's just like when you watch it, you're just like, you know what? I think you deserve it, buddy.
Right. Like, you must be corrupt to be guarding the Punisher, but yet have no idea who you're guarding. Sure, dude.
I love it that Frank rolled a nat 20 on like on diplomacy,
Yeah.
and then like another on strength.
Right.
It's like, oh fuck.
And stealth, dude, because no other guards are like, what the fuck is going on? Are you okay?
Yeah. Really, you only had one guard posted, or did Frank kill the others?
Yeah. Also, forget to mention that we get the bad guy from Breaking Bad, not Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul as Swordsman. Forgot he was in
Yeah.
Hawkeye. I was like, oh, it's the other Salamanca. I forgot his name.
It was
Breaking
in.
Bad. Yeah, he is Kate Bishop's. Her mom was like having a romance with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Forgot. Yeah. All right.
But yeah, but I would say it's a promising comeback for Daredevil. Like, finally they get the tone right. Apparently, both Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, and John Bernthal saw the first scripts, and they were like, "Nah, we have to rewrite the entire series," and they did. So it fits
Good.
more the Netflix theme, and I glad they
Good.
did. Because we all know. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No. Go.
How prematurely Daredevil ended, and how badly all of us fans were like, why? How? Why do you cancel Daredevil?
Yeah. So they like when they come back, they really want to make sure that they did it right.
Yeah.
I'm very again like I'm very thrown off with Vincent D'Onofrio, where he's just like, wait, D'Onofrio or D'Onofrio?
D'Onofrio?
D'Onofrio. Where I see him as Wilson Fisk, but when you see him in interviews, he's like, "Hi everybody," you know. He's just like, it's like, "Oh yeah, Charlie Cox is a great guy." I'm just like,
Right?
no, I cannot see him as anyone else.
Right? Like, I saw Vincent D'Onofrio in like a Kevin Hart movie in Netflix called Live, and I'm just like, I'm watching Daredevil right now. I can't see you not be, when I was a boy, Mr. Murdoch. You're like,
Did you see that one meme where it's just like, when I was at a young age? The caption is Wilson Fisk trying to make sure he doesn't say when I was a boy.
I just like the TikToks when, like, after one episode of Daredevil, like, your voice changes to like, bye Vanessa, Vanessa, I cannot live without you. I must have you. But yeah, what would you rate Daredevil Born Again Season 1?
I'll rate Daredevil Born Again Season 1 like an 8.5 out of 10. It's a really good fucking show.
Yeah.
And I love it that this is getting back, it's making Marvel more grounded,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Where I'm finally, hey, this is the story I could actually, pay attention to. because we are getting a lot of flops.
Yeah.
With like again Captain America, we're getting flops with like Ant-Man, Thor. It's just like very subpar because they're following that formula while Daredevil didn't.
Yeah.
And I just love I love that. Hey, the executives listen to the actors and we're like, hey, I feel like this is how it's supposed to go. Because
Yeah.
John Bertal did do research.
Yeah.
They did start reading comics just to make sure that he gets the character right. So, I love almost every bit of the show. There are some points where I'm just like, hey, can you just don the fucking suit? But, of course, that's not the story. There are some episodes where I'm just like, oh, okay. Kind of like with a serial killer, it's just like, that was a little too quick. I kind of want to see more of this guy.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, imagine him being more of a problem to Daredevil later on in the future. Also might bleed into, you know, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I saw, like, a casting for Spider-Man. What was the name of the movie?
I don't know. New Beginnings.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
The new one.
Yeah.
Matt's gonna be in there, so
Oh.
can't wait for that.
All right.
But yeah. How it ended though was a little. I really was like expecting a third episode, like a 10th episode.
Yeah.
It ended so weirdly, in my opinion. I'm just like, okay, next episode, please. I have to wait a bit.
Yeah.
You know.
An entire year. Oh man. Yeah, I agree. 8 is a perfectly good score, especially for this like comeback. Like to expect something like Daredevil season 1 and 2 is a bit unrealistic. I'm just like, let's just make Daredevil like dark and gritty and good again, and then we can focus on like comparing it to the others. But I think it is a deserving sequel of the 3rd season of Daredevil. I do love the fact that every actor here came to play, like whether it's from BB Urich to Matt to Daniel to Wilson to Frank to Karen, even Poindexter, Vanessa. Everybody knew their assignment and played it so well. Like acting alone is 10 out of 10, and like you're right. It's not like a typical MCU show where there's like 5 ties to different movies that have nothing to do with the Daredevil. It's just like, oh, it is in this universe because Kamala exists here, but the rest of the ties here again. New York is under martial law, no webs, no arrows, no mummy signs, and you're like, huh, interesting. I wonder if that's for the 2nd season or Disney's literally saving all of the budget for Avengers Doomsday. And I wonder if Daredevil has the tiniest of cameos in Avengers Doomsdays, because it doesn't make sense for him and Punisher to go up against Doctor Doom in like a final fight, but like at the same time, I hope they get their due credit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a good return. It again feels like it never left, even though the gap between season 3 and Born Again is like what, 6 years at this point.
6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, I just love seeing Charlie Cox again.
Yeah.
You know.
Dude is fantastic as Matt Murdock. Him and John Bertal are perfect casting. Same with Vincent D'Onofrio, and I hope they, like kind of like Hugh Jackman, I hope they do this for the longest time because they deserve it. Maybe not till they're 90 because they have other things to do, but like until maybe midway through the next decade, the 2030s. Who knows?
I would love to see like old Daredevil and Punisher.
Yeah.
You know?
I know Marvel right now is having like a Dark Knight Returns for Daredevil where it's old Matt Murdock like kicking ass again, and he's like built like the gorilla Batman. And I'm like, I think I kind of want to see that adapted.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, to the audience watching, what was your favorite Marvel Netflix show? Was it Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, if you like that, if you like Iron Fist, or The Defenders? Whatever it was, comment down below. If you like to see more of us here, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see your best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. And the Visual Zoda's voices on TikTok and Enswolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at JomJoM_on Instagram and it's my account.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.